This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Carty Method Podcast. It is Thursday. Thursday, we do photo reviews. Reviews from you. I look at your photos, and this Thursday is very special because not only am I looking at your photo reviews, but I gave you probably the sickest assignment that I've given in the last 12 months, which is recreate a Nike ad. Make something that you could tag Nike, that Nike would be like, oh my God, I have to repost this. Make something that is literally, I want you to think of the tagline, just do it. And I want you to make something that is absolutely mental. So we have 21 submissions. We are starting with Rafael Ortiz. And by the way, before we even get started, oh my God, I got a new lens. I got to talk about this new lens. Before we even get started, let's talk about this piece of glass that I've wanted for literally, I've wanted this piece of glass for like 18 months, and I finally got it. This is a 200 2.8. I'm gonna say again, 200 L series 200 millimeter. Can you see that focus there, buddy? 200 2.8. Now it's an EF because I use my R5 adapted, and why spend $3,000 plus on a lens? And by the way, they don't have a 200 2.8 in RF yet. They don't have a 200 2.8, I don't believe. So this is a 200 2.8. Look at how open this is. Look at that. And it looks exactly, and it's the same size as my 135. I have a 135 f2. I like primes. And I had a 70-200 that I never used. I use 85. I use my 135. But when I used my 70-200, it was always at 200. At 200. That would be the only reason I use it. I didn't even know they had a 200 2.8, but they do. And this is it. And I have one now. And I can't wait to make content with this, like the Lens Diaries 200 2.8. I'm going to shoot portraits, obviously. Yeah, it's literally a magic lens. So it is Real Photo Reviews. I have given you a Nike assignment, and we have our first photographer. His name is Rafael Ortiz. Rafael says, hey, Carty crew, when I think of the tagline, just do it, I think about the things I don't want to do, but must do it. I took this in the studio restroom. I noticed the leading lines of the handrails, which gave me the ideas for the shot. Shot in studio, tethered, remote timer with review screen. This is the full frame uncropped. Nikon D850 with a Tamron 11 to 20 2.8, shot at 20. ISO 200 f9 at 200 of a second. One speed light in a strip box. One speed light using speed lights. One speed light facing the ceiling with a diffusion dome. All right. Let's look at Rafael Ortiz. Rafael, thanks for submitting. Okay. I have so much to say here, Rafael. The first thing I have to say is why? Why? The idea is to shoot an ad for Nike. The idea is to shoot an ad for Nike that Nike would want to use in their latest campaign. Now, do you think that Nike would want to use a picture in your studio toilet for their next campaign? For me, this says, number one, you're not taking this seriously. And number two, you're in another photo. Rafael, you can't continually jump back between that one child and yourself, and that one child and yourself for all your photos. Answer me this. Is this going in your portfolio? Is this going in your portfolio? Really? I would say no. So for me, this is a miss. And you had the opportunity to shoot something for Nike. You had that opportunity, but instead you did a joke because like, I don't know, Raph. Like for me, you completely lost me on this one and you completely lost the boat and it makes me miss the boat and it makes me feel like you're not taking this seriously. I need you behind the camera, directing a subject, preferably not in a bathroom. We're talking athletes. We're talking just do it. And this is what you gave me. For me, this is a huge miss, mister. Please try to be behind the camera instead of in front of the camera. And like, this is your career, bro. This is like it's literally, I'm the art director for Nike. I have Andrew's contact information. Like, I can send the stuff that I'm seeing here to Nike, but I wouldn't send yours because it would be disrespectful. Raphael, you missed it, man. I'm sorry, but I'm frustrated. All right, let's get into our next shooter. Next shooter is Christina Nicole. Christina says, "Hey, Carty and crew, shot in the subway of Manhattan, New York. Shot in the subway of Manhattan, New York. The MT. My model dancer friend helped me out. Over 300 shots with different freeze movements. This one I think sums up the just do it motto. I didn't bring my strobe. You're gonna shoot motion without a strobe? If you have a strobe and you're shooting, how are you gonna freeze that motion without the strobe? So this, I haven't even seen it, and I already know, Christine, you're probably missing on this one. Again, thanks for the feedback. R6, you got a new camera. Good for you. Congratulations on the R6. 50mm 1.2, also big upgrade. ISO 800 f2.2 at a 60th of a second. Christina's taking this shit seriously. Let's go, Christina. Christine, like, all you needed was a strobe. And also, I know it's New York, so it's freezing, but you could have done this idea in any location. In any location, and specifically with light. Like, the problem is that fluorescent light doesn't render very nice. You see how it has this like yellow, like this pea yellow kind of a look? That's what, and it's really hard to color balance. And again, this is an ad for Nike. And I'm going to say, if you were shooting an ad for Nike, I'm going to give you, Christine Nicole, Nike's hiring you, okay? And this is your idea for Nike. Is that the day that you're going to not bring your strobe? Is that the day? The day that you're shooting for Nike? Nah, I didn't bring my strobe. I'm just going to see what I get. It's like, again, you have the strobe, but you didn't bring the strobe. And again, you're shooting in a subway, which you're worrying about security. You're worrying about all of these other things that happen when it's just you and your subject and you have expensive gear, which is why you bring an assistant when you're doing something that is so important. For me, Christine, this is such a level up for you. It's such a level up from where you were. I want the whole frame. I feel like this is maybe cropped. Is it maybe cropped? Because my masthead isn't looking right. Yeah, I think maybe I'm just sized off here. Let's see. I'm going to size my cover for you, and then we'll see what other people, let's see if other people's pictures fall in the same proportion. All right, and then let's look at, that's a cover. So your cover composition is strong. Like, the composition is strong. And again, you said you shot 300 shots. Did you shoot 300 shots in one location? Or did you shoot 300 shots in several locations? Let's just see. Yeah, your proportions are off. You're not giving me the full frame, Christine. You're giving me like a 9x12. I want the whole picture. Please don't pre-crop for me. I need to see what you're shooting so I can help you. Yeah, you're pre-cropping. So I need to see the whole photo, please. And use lights, especially because you can control the color temperature of your studio strobes. You can't control the color temperature of what's going on in here. It's definitely a good attempt, and I'm going to say the best attempt that I've seen so far. It's the best attempt that I've seen so far, but you still got to keep pushing. Very good with the idea. Just go out with him again. Go out with him again and shoot more. This is Romeo Fowler. Romeo says, hello, creatures. I love you all. Fuji X-T3 50mm 1.4, ISO 125, f7.1 at a 30th of a second. This is Romeo Fowler. Romeo. So I definitely appreciate the full head to toe Nike and the styling of it. The overall image is a little flat because there's no extra light. Obviously, because there's no light, you're getting blur here with your hand. And again, you're going to notice when you see Nike ads, like, you don't see blur. It's like they use flash, so they freeze the action. So you see the ball, you see the expressions, you see all of that like happening like right as it's happening. So this is solved with strobe. And again, Romeo, if this is you and you're taking a self-portrait, that also is, again, we're trying to get subjects so you can direct them. You can't direct yourself in the photo. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say this. Please stop using yourself as the subject for your portfolio pictures. Please stop using yourself for your portfolio pictures, because you can't compose when you're in front of the camera. You can't do nuance. All you can do is set up one shot, hit the self timer, and then look at it and be like, I hope it worked. So please stop. Like, you're the camera person. You're the one behind the camera, which is what, but it's like, well, I couldn't find anybody, so I just did it for myself. If you can't find someone, try harder. Try harder. Like, that's what I'm going to keep saying. Try harder. I get frustrated when I continually see Romeo in his own pictures and Raphael in his own pictures, and like, just please, we're trying to build a portfolio here. Let's look at this as a double page. You can see that the ball is super close to the gutter, and again, it's because you're not behind the camera framing it. You're also seeing your lines here, how this horizon line isn't really straight, and how this camera plate, like all of this stuff, like that line's straight, but this line isn't straight. Like, this kind of stuff, like, you notice that when you're behind the camera shooting. But when you're trying to be the subject and the photographer, you're going to fail at both. So for me, again, closer, but it's not that hit. And again, I know that you have strobes. Bring your strobes outside. So this ball is lit, and we can see Spalding, and we can actually see a ball, and it actually, when you light outdoors, it's going to make this entire scene feel less flat. And right now it just feels flat because it's overcast and there's no oomph. So for me, that is my 2 cents. That is Romeo Fowler. Romeo. Again, I'm going to say it. Stop trying to put yourself in your portfolio. Like, stop trying to put yourself in your portfolio, and find people who are cooler than you to photograph, that can do the things better than you that you're trying to act out. You can't be the photographer and the model. Please stop. All right, this is our next shooter. This is Marco Nueves. Marco says, out of nearly 200 countries, only 2 enlist on calling it soccer. We won't name names. For everyone else, there's only 1 world football tournament. And let's be honest, after almost a century of competition, there's only 1 undisputed champion. Brazil. EOS R 24-105, ISO 200, 1/250 to the second, f8. 2 Godox strobes, octabox, and strip box. This is Marco Nueves. Marco. Okay, so the idea is just do it. This is not like a just do it kind of a picture. This is a portrait. It's a portrait with a bit of a quirk is how I would describe it. This doesn't say athlete. It doesn't say, it's just a guy in a Nike jersey that happens to be the Brazil country and a Brazil ball. I showed so many references, and the reason that I get frustrated is because I showed so many references, and I feel like in showing all of these references, and like I did a whole podcast on it, and like for me, like I take this so seriously, and like these are the references that I showed, and I have to show them again. I have to, because I feel like so many like just missed the brand of Nike. Missed it. They're wearing a Nike thing and then they just do whatever they want. So I wanted to see, like, these are my references. Like, these were my references, okay? Athlete, sport, or style. But they have, and again, you saw Christina Nicole saw the reference and she swung for the fences. Like, I want you to see the references, because without, like, I'm the art director. I'm giving you an assignment. These are the references. Like I'm showing, if you shoot places, there's so many ways to do it, but I'm showing you what Nike uses for their campaign images, so you can have an idea as to how far you have to go with your images in order to make it so it works within the brand. So for me, these were my references for Just Do It. This starting with this very first picture. So it's hard, and I get frustrated because it's not my references. It's so again, this is an ad for Nike. And for me, I do not think that this makes the same mark, because he's connecting with you. He is a subject. He's connecting with you more so, than he's connecting with sport. It's not about sport here for him. This is something else. Like, his head is somewhere else. And this eye contact with you, it's like, he's not kicking this ball. Like, have him kicking the ball. Have him doing something that makes, like, I just feel like this is a portrait subject that you just dressed him up. Like, for me, I'm not a soccer player. So if you take a picture of me with the soccer stuff holding a soccer ball, it's just, I'm pretending. But for me, that doesn't speak the sport that I think that we need here, Marco. And exposure, like his skin color, you can see he looks quite gray, and I'm not sure, I'm feeling that this is exposure. Like it's like there's no life in his skin. You need to have his, like, a little bit of warmth in his skin. And I know you're color balancing it here, but again, I don't know what you're doing in the studio with lighting. I would love to watch and see what you're doing with lighting, because for me, we're not quite there yet. And I want to help you. This is Marco Nueves, everybody. This is not a Nike ad, which is what we were looking for. This is a portrait. All right, let's see what Steven Bourdeau has. Steven says, "Good afternoon, Carty and crew. I'm not a skater, but I know that the sport demands an insane amount of just do it attitude in order to land an next trick. So I went to a local skate park in hopes of finding a willing participant in Nike gear. I was nervous to ask random people to take photos, but I remembered the name of the assignment and told myself, just do it. And this young man was kind enough to attempt this trick over and over until I got this shot. My settings were a bit crazy. I really needed to freeze action without opening the aperture too much, which is why you use strobe. which is why every single time that you see somebody shoot skateboarding, they have a flash here, like a speed light, like off camera, and they're like this. Or they have a stand and a strobe, and they're like, every single time you see someone shooting skateboarding, they're shooting with a strobe. All you need to do is watch a skate video. Like, if you're going to shoot skateboarding, then you watch a skate video. And you're like, that's how they do it. Wide angle, super close with a strobe. All right. So, you think your settings are a bit crazy. You used no light, handheld it. So ISO, what you did was ISO 4000. So you just jacked your ISO in order to get the shutter speed instead of using flash or strobe. ISO 4000 at 2000th of a second at f4. Shot with the R6 Smart 2 50mm 1.8. I'm worried here. But no, you fucking killed it, Steve. Oh my God. Steve, you fucking killed it. Again, you shoot this with strobe, but you killed it. And again, if you didn't have the R6 Mark II, I don't think that you would have been able to handle and again, you understand when I do come in a bit closer, you see like your file really falls apart close up, Steve, right? You see that? Like when I zoom this up, you see the file falls apart. I was giving you props when I'm looking at it here, right? Because here, oh my God, it looks amazing. But when you look at it closely, when you look at it even at 100%, which this is 100%, it starts to fall apart here at 100%. So, you did everything right. You did everything right, except for you can't shoot this kind of stuff with natural light. You can't shoot this kind of stuff with natural light. It doesn't work. You can shoot the lifestyle side of it, but once it comes into these poses and when you're really trying to freeze a trick, it becomes really difficult. But for me, again, this is a monumental attempt, Steve. A monumental attempt. It's compositionally strong. Yes, the other person had pictures. Christine cropped strangely. So that is that. Now let's look at this as an 8x10, 8x10 frame. Let's hide that. Okay, yeah, Steve, you really did kill this picture. Like, you really did. Again, it's just thinking that you can shoot motion without strobe is preposterous. You need to have a portable off-camera setup. Like, I have a newer ML300, runs on batteries, 1,000 flashes, put it on a stand, hit the sandbag, put an umbrella, softbox, put it anywhere you want, no cords, go out, shoot this stuff all day long. And I'm shooting at ISO 100 at like F11 at 125. You know what I mean? So I'm getting crispy, sharp, great detail. Like that is how you do it. So that part, I really want you to be locking in. Like there's technical stuff. Like Christina Nicole, you're going into the subway in winter, and it's like, I'm not going to bring lights. I'll just find light. It's like you're shooting a Nike ad. You know what I mean? You're shooting a Nike ad. So it's like, okay, well, if there was a time to bring that equipment you bought, that would be the time. And you are the same way, my friend here, Steve. You did a great job, but strobe would have made your file like your client meaning Whedon Kennedy is going to just look at this picture and say, what happened to your file, bro? Like, I can't print that. This is what they'll do. They'll just enlarge it like that on the monitor for you and say, I can't print that. So make sure that your client is not doing that kind of stuff. Peo Solar, welcome. All the way from Argentina. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. This is Tia Dunlap. Tia says, I was inspired by the Nike Just Do It challenge and wanted to use my 3 boys for this picture. I tried to capture each of their individual personalities in this picture, shot in studio, tethered with a review screen. R6 70-200, ISO 250 f8 at 250th of a second, 2 Westcott 4 100-watt second strobes. This is Tia Dunlop. Tia, this is definitely, you're onto something here, but the hard thing is the three people in this picture, it really throws the balance off. There's a couple of technical things that you're doing wrong here. You're not, like, here's the background, right? And then the background comes down like this, the seamless. This is the top view of the studio. The background comes down like this. You need to, number one, have a tripod, and you cannot move from this center axis. You can't. Because if you do, what's happening? Because you shot this picture from here, aiming in that way. And how do I know? Because I can see it right here. I can see how your horizon line here is crooked because you're not coming in this way, which is dead on. You're coming in from the side. Yes or yes? So, number one, the horizon line in the background in the studio, you can see that that's crooked, right? And that alone means that you're not coming in straight on, because the only way that you can get that horizon line straight is if you hit the background exactly straight. That's the only way. And then you can also see, like, back here, these two, although they're different heights, they're on different planes, because you can see where his feet are and where his feet are. So they're on like he's on a lower plane, which is also accentuating their height difference, right? It's accentuating their height difference. Also, your light, which is coming from camera left to right, but then you also have another light coming camera right to left. So you're doing cross light, which is a no-no. In the studio, there's only one sun. So your light is placed here or like anywhere here, one light. But once you do two lights, then you have one shadow going that way and you have one shadow going that way, which you have weird shadows happening back here. So I have to do a studio workshop. I have to, because I get so frustrated when I see people who don't know light just mess around in the studio. It makes me crazy. I see this backlight back here that you're hitting off the background. I definitely see that. But the exposure here, he's being shadowed by him. So you can see the exposure on him, but how different it is back here because there's shadow. So just the whole setup of like having your son do a leap and having people behind him on a different plane, like I just wouldn't do that. This picture, we can't do, like this is a picture that it would be just him. For me, if it was just him, I see it, but I understand you want to include all your kids. So you have the other two behind, but that makes it now, you can't make all three of them look amazing. It becomes like a really difficult thing. Like what I would do is shot an individual picture of each one of them and have each one of them do something. And then you have three photos instead of one, and you have three photos that work instead of one photo with three people that doesn't work. Like that's my 2 cents. And again, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just being real. His shoes don't belong because they're not new. Like if you see the difference between, where am I going here? These shoes are not new. These shoes are new. These shoes are new. So one of the shoes doesn't belong here. And they're also Dunks or Jordans. So old Dunks, old Panda Dunks, and brand new, like those are running shoes. And then those are running shoes or basketball shoes. Are they running shoes or are they basketball shoes? I guess they're basketball shoes. But these ones definitely are more of a running shoe. So again, it's like he's wearing he's football. He has a football. But guess what? I can't see the football because I just noticed it now. I just noticed that Wilson football now. So it's like, to me, you're trying to include too many different elements in this photo. I just want to see your one son doing this leap, or this son doing something crazy, or this son doing something crazy. It's hard when you're trying to bundle them all in one picture. For me, this one, again, it's close, Tia, but it's a bit of a miss. It's a bit of a miss because of what's happening back here and how all of this just blends together. All of this here, you're layering, and yeah, it's too distracting. I hope that helps you. And again, it's like, it's a tricky situation because you're using your kids to execute an ad. And again, it's like, I have kids, but my kids aren't always my kids aren't really in any of my content because they're not appropriate for the kind of subject matter that I'm trying to make. Do you know what I mean? So like, you have to take this so seriously, and who you're shooting and why. I do not know if I would have chosen, like, or again, it's like the shoes that you're picking. There's so many different layers here, man. Honestly, there really is. Tia, I really appreciate the attempt. I really do. I feel like this 3 single pictures in the studio, and also please square up when you're hitting the background. Don't skim it. Please watch legendary hacks that pros do in studio. And then I have, I explain exactly how to be and set up in the studio so all your lines are straight. All right, that was Tia Dunlap. Let's look at Salim El Madani. Salim says, after many attempts in the first use of my outdoor strobe, the pictures were too elaborate or too posy or too fakey. However, when I was culling, I found that this picture represented more the brand and the minimalist style of the brief, shot outside with full sun in the back and the cold. A7R3 85mm ISO 100 f8 at 200 a second. Hey, we got 70 people watching. Look at me. All right, this is Salim El Madani. Salim, why is this man's fingers not important to you? Tell me that. Why are his fingers not important to you? Because this, as soon as I see this picture, I'm so fucking mad at you. Seriously, what are you doing? As soon as I see this picture, are you realizing that when this now goes into a magazine, do you know where the cut is? Because you lose 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So that's 1/8 of an inch per side. So that means the cut is here. Do you understand? All it takes is you taking one step back so you're not cutting his fingers off, or having him move his hands in or move his hands this way or do anything so you're not cutting his fingers. So for me, although this is the photo that you chose, this photo, even in shooting it, you can't be claustrophobic to the board, so claustrophobic to the edge. While you're shooting, you're fascinated by this, but you can't miss all the other stuff that's happening. Because for me, Salim, if it wasn't for these fingers, this is by far my absolute favorite shot of the day. My favorite shot of the day, if it wasn't for those fingers. Because of those fingers, and because you're in my accelerator, I'm so pissed off. Because you know better. You know better than this. This, for me, is sloppy. Like, seriously, you have thousands of dollars worth of equipment. You go, you buy Nike stuff. You find amazing light. You go outside, and then you cut off his fingers? Like, that's literally cutting off your nose to spite your face. So for me, that part pisses me off. What I love is the fact that you found this picture, and again, you said this was an outtake. You shot tons of too posy, too fakey, but you're realizing the pose is no pose. In the 21st century, for all the photographers out there who are trying to have your models pose, stop doing that. Stop doing that, because in the 21st century, models don't pose. They don't pose. They just are. Like, that's why you look at references. That's why you look at photographers like Yu Tsai. Because when you see photographers like Yu Tsai and you see his work and you see the way that he shoots in studio, when you see the way that he shoots on location and you see his photos, they're effortless. Rarely, by the way, this is an old photo because people don't pose like that anymore. This is like an old session. But most of his stuff is this. It's idea. It's idea and execution. When you have great ideas, you don't have to pose. You understand? You don't have to pose when you have a great idea. There doesn't have to be a pose because the idea is so strong. So again, older work, because this is totally tacky. But that's what you have to look at. You got to look at like insane photographers so you realize, oh, I'm making my models do way too much shit. Like, look at this. This is a perfect picture. It's understated. There's no pretense, no bullshit. So it's important. It's super important to be looking at photographers that make you want to quit. And Salim's in my accelerator. Salim's been one-on-one training with me. And Salim also is a thick skin. And he knows, like, I know how good he is. I know how good he is. So I can yell at him when he makes stupid mistakes like this. Seriously. He's a fucking great photographer. But this right now, me slapping your hand because you made this mistake, you're going to remember and you're going to scan your frame and you're going to make sure that you're not doing obnoxious things like this. All right, Salim, well done. I'm giving you an 11, even if I'm mad at you. Even if I'm mad at you. It was a very good execution. All right, Chris Foster. Chris says, hey, Carty and crew, the vibe I'm shooting for in this image is you can just do it anytime, any place, and still look stylish. My wife of 31 years is the model. EOS R3, 85mm 1.2. Look at you with the gear. ISO 125, f3.5, ISO 100. Shot with a strobe, camera left with reflector, 20-degree grid, one LED for pink highlight behind. Anxious to see what Chris Foster has done. Chris, this is a yes for me, except for she's posing. This is a yes for me, except for she's posing. Like, you have to imagine, the same picture, the same road, the same light, the same outfit, except she's not looking at you, bro. She's doing this. She's doing this. Like, she's stretching. Instead, she's doing this. So now you've taken what could have been an ad of a 50-year-old woman, literally, who's out there doing it, and you've turned it into a snapshot, Chris. You've taken the light, the location, the strobe, the outfit, and you turned it into, like, why not her stretching and looking off at the sunset? Why not her, like, what, you know what I mean? Like, why not her jumping? Like getting herself ready. Why not her literally in stride, running down the street? Instead, she's paying attention to you and doing this. So, again, all the elements. It's like you had the puzzle. You had all the right pieces, the right shoe, the right heading, the right light, the right location, and then you assembled them in the wrong way. It's like posing a mannequin. And again, it's up to us. This is our control. We have to control everything, especially the pose. And where the poses come from is from references. Think of this. Would you rather see, imagine, a 60-year-old woman for Nike, you would see her doing yoga. You would see her doing a really hard pose that someone at that age couldn't do. Your wife, show her doing something hard or stretching like she's about to do something hard. Jumping, doing jumping jacks, but her riveted on the camera. It's like literally, I'm about to like do my like grand slam serve, but instead I'm looking at the camera, the guy who's taking my picture. Like, it just instantly cheeses it out. You had an editorial idea, but then you cheesed it out with the pose. So this is something that, like, this is an art. This is an art. Photography, it's not easy. A camera operation is just one of the things. Idea, pose, body language, all of this stuff is what we get paid for. Is why I get $5K a day to shoot photos. It's because I understand body language, and body language is the most important thing that we have when we shoot photos. It's the most important thing that we have. And I like body language. Look at, this is my body language. Like the way that I let people move. Like everything is real. There's no bullshit when it comes to poses. And if you want to admire what another photographer does, look at how he directs his models. Look at how he directs his subjects and just lets them be. Like that is the true art in photography, is direction. How you pose your people. Seriously, it is like the hardest thing to master. It truly is the hardest thing to master, how to pose your people. Truly, it really is. And doing it without ego. Approaching a subject and photographing a subject without ego, where you allow them to shine, where you're not trying to make them anything that they're not. It's the true art of photography, really. So, I'm an asshole. I got to tell you, I'm an asshole a lot of times. And the reason is because my standards are usually the highest in the room. And I'm okay with that. Now, people who watch me, I hope people watch me because they want their standards to raise up a little bit so they can make a living with their camera the way that I do. Literally. Like, there's a reason that I get hired, because I don't miss a thing. I'm insanely detailed. And that's why I get booked. Seriously. All right, let's see who's next. Andy Phillips. Andy says, here's the details. 1 strobe with an octagon, 16th, and a reflector while trying to shed some light on the neckline of the shirt. All week, something's been adrift with me getting my lighting to work as it should, whether it's natural light or from a light stand. Did vertical, thinking of a bus stop banner, single page of a magazine. Canon T5i Takina 24-70 at 28 millimeter. ISO 400 to 30th of a second at 5.6. Let's see what Andy has done. Andy Phillips. Andy, I definitely see what you're trying to do here. Again, it just, it reads a little bit too snapshot. It reads too snapshot. I'm going to say again, it just reads too snapshot. It's sentimental. Like, yes, it makes my, oh, please, will you be our coach again next year? Like, yeah, I got it. It's sentimental. I'm not being an asshole. I have kids. Like, I get it. I'm just saying, like, is this an ad for Nike? Is it? Is this an ad for Nike? Because if you're trying to convey this, it wouldn't be a still. It would be a full 30-second spot. It would be like them playing and coach yelling over the boards and encouraging them and blah, 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 blah. And like, this would be like the end shot, but it would be a spot. It wouldn't be a still. The still would be from like over the rink and seeing the steam and seeing your girls like playing hockey, like seeing a girl with all her equipment and like her Nike hockey bag, like a girl in her outfit wearing a Nike helmet, Nike skates. Like, that's the picture. But this is not it. This is not the picture. There's not enough detail on the bag, the dark on dark, the dark hockey shirt next to the dark hockey skates. There's next to the dark hockey bag. Like, there's too many elements that you're just throwing in here. Final touch. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. There's too many elements that you're throwing in here and calling it a photo. It's not. And again, Andy, you're my accelerator. So I know the level of photographer that you are, and I know what you can do. For this, for me, like, it's just the skates. It's, if you have Nike skates, it's just the skates, or it's the skates moving and you're shooting just like ankle or like knee down. Like, there has to be an element of sport. And I feel like this, if it's a still life that you're doing, this isn't it. And I don't think that this could go in your book. This is a social media picture. You know what I mean? Which is cute, but it's just cute. And again, like cute gets you literally half a second of attention. Half a second of attention. Cute. Oh, cute. So it's like, guys, Nike ad. Do you want to see what Nike's Instagram looks like? Like seriously, let's look at Nike's Instagram to see what kind of stuff Nike posts on Instagram. Nike's main account. So let's see the type of stuff that Nike's main account posts. Video spot. So spot. Image. Like, and also, let's look at these. Like, this is international makeup artist, ICMF French, Olympic sprinter, and gymnast come together for Isama's beauty-inspired Air Max DN collection. So this is Nike hiring this team to shoot creative. Do you see what's happening here? Look at this creative. Like, this is the type of creative that Nike puts on their Instagram. Okay? So, again, like spot. Again, let's look at the type of creative. By the way, whoever sent me the picture of the gentleman in the Brazil shirt, this is the level of creative that Nike's going to put on their website. This. In this mirror room. With the actual athlete. Not somebody wearing the jersey. So, this is this greatness. It only, like, imagine, without even the text, without you seeing greatness, it only takes everything. Without you seeing the Nike logo, seeing this logo here alone, this is all you need. Like, this is what I asked for. This is what I was asking for. This. And it's like, well, it's beyond me. It's like, if you say so. If you say so. Like, even look at the Air Max and how this guy's choosing to push light through the Air Max. Like, come on. Like, if you're not looking at what Nike deems as cool creative, if you're not looking at what Nike deems as cool creative, how do you expect to make cool creative for Nike if you're not looking at what they do? So, like, again, this is how you get inspired, is you look at what they buy into. You look at what excites them. Look at what they're posting to their feed, and then make pictures that are better executed, better ideas. Like, do you understand? This was the bar. And again, whether you're new or not, if you don't think that you, like, I shot for Nike after 2007. After like 12 years of business. 12 years it took me to shoot for Nike. 13 years. Like, so that sidebar is when I say the bar is high. This is what I mean. The bar is way higher than you think. So many photographers, it's like, oh, I'm not getting work. I wonder am I not work. It's like, because you're not good enough. You're not trying hard enough. It's simple. You're not good enough. You're not trying hard enough. And it's like, well, can I get better? Well, it depends. What are you doing to get better? Are you doing the same thing over and over and over again, taking pictures, showing them to yes men? People are like, oh my God, you're great. And then just continuing on, showing people who are just patting you on the back, telling you how great you are. Or are you showing your photos to somebody who's been doing it for 3.5 decades who can say, oh, no, so blah, blah. You see the magazine, you see the gutter, the layout, cover, like the way that I break down photography and the places that it could be applied. Like, this is an applied job. Like, photography that I do, people use it. And that work goes out and it's in magazines and it gets published and it goes in advertisings and blah, 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 blah. So it's like the whole point about the work, like you make the work, but the work needs to get used. Like the work needs to get used. And like, that's like, you get hired to make work, and then that work gets used. And then that work makes the people who use it more money. So it's like, this is just some of the work that I make that, and some of the examples of how the work that I make gets used. So it's like, and then I'm showing examples of how my work gets used. So when you actually see, when you see my regular portfolio and you want more, you're like, look at all of this proof. Look at all the people who've trusted me with their work. Look at all the people who've trusted me with their budgets and their executions. So, and yeah, I rented a reindeer for a photo. How many photographers are bringing an actual reindeer to a photo shoot? I've rented tanks. I'm a psycho person. So, work. I make work that gets work. I'm trying to help you make work that gets work. That's it. That's it. It's not about egos. It's not about hurt feelings. It's like, do you want to work as a photographer? I'm going to teach you how to make work that gets work. That's it. If your feelings are hurt, sorry. It's just enjoy not making money as a photographer. All right, let's see the next shooter. This is Matt Carlson. Matt says, hey, Carty, my 7 square meter studio turned into a dance studio for the shoot. Just do it. Thanks for your feedback. R6 50 millimeter 1.2, ISO 100, 6.3, 125, continuous light with a grid, side above, and an A200 Pro as a front light strobe. So you mixed straight and strobe. This is Matt Carlson. Matt, you're onto something here. You're onto something. I think the light is wrong, but you're onto something. Like, I know what you're trying to do. I think the situation is you're lighting with a source that's relatively small. So as they're moving around, like, your subject just moved out of your source. But what you're trying, like this movement, the eyes off, like, you're onto something. It's just, I just don't necessarily agree with your light placement, because I'm seeing that you have a light that's low, and that low light is pushing up some really weird shadows on her face. And again, you can't hide from me, by the way, in case you were wondering. If you could do some sort of light thing that I'm going to miss. You see this light is your main light, and this is now pushing up light and pushing an up shadow, which that vibe of when you put the flashlight under your chin and ooh, it's spooky. It's like, we don't like people under light. Under light is just never flattering at all. Just never. It never works, because what you're doing is you're putting, like, this is supposed to be shade, but you put the shade on the top. Like, anyways, and the fact that you also have top light coming from up here, which I can see in here, in this catch light here, I can see here. So that is like giving you this shadow down here and giving you this light on the side of the face, but you also have light coming from down here, almost at the same equal, which is pushing some weirdness on this side of her face. You can see how that's like, it's totally off. Number one, there's only one sun, so only use one front light. One front light. Don't clamshell, like, don't side like this, like, oh my God, it makes my fucking head hurt. Literally, the lights have to aim at each other. So one's the back and one's in the front, and then the person's in the center, and then you have this like rim, like I'm doing back there, although that's on the floor because it's a smoke machine. So I like this, Matt. Like, I like this, but you need help with light. You need help with light. Like, there's just a couple of mistakes that you're making with light, but I like this. It's inspired. It's understated. The outfit is right. The styling is right. I like the movement. Yeah, I like this, Matt. I'm giving you an 11 on this one, my friend. This is a yes for me. Again, it's like, but you can't rest on this. You can't rest on this. You know, there's still like, there's wrinkles on the shoulder because her arm's coming across her body. Her arm coming across her body obviously does weird things. And like, there's all kinds of things that we have to be like super wary of. You're also low. You're aiming up at her, which is not always flattering. Like, but there's so many things that work with this picture. I want you to just continue to develop with me, continue shooting, and continue swinging for the fences. This is Mats Carlson. Well done, Mats. Thanks for submitting. Are you ready to create work that clients will pay for, but you don't know where to start? If you're serious about improving your photography and building a business, my photo reviews are exactly what you need. Here's how it works. Tuesdays, portfolio review day. Submit one image from your portfolio and I'll give you detailed, no fluff feedback on whether it's strong enough to attract paying clients. Perfect for building a portfolio that stands out. Thursdays, assignment review day. Every week I reveal a new photography assignment. You'll have 6 days to complete it, submit your work, and you'll get live feedback from me on Thursday's show. Here's a bonus for live viewers. Stick around to the end of Tuesday's portfolio review show and I'll spin the assignment wheel of destiny. That reveals Thursday's brief 2 days early. This gives you extra time to plan and create something truly special. Here's what you get. Access to my mentorship community. Your submission fee gives you access to my Carte Method mentorship community. You get to connect with photographers at all levels, exchange ideas, and grow together in a supportive space. You also get submission folder access. After each show, you'll get access to join the assignments that actually interest you, and you can submit your work for live feedback. This isn't just about critiquing your photos. It's about giving you practical advice and insights from my 34 years of professional photography to help you grow and succeed. If you're ready to step up your game and create work that actually matters, this is your chance. Visit thecartemethod.com/YouTube submissions to submit your work and join the live shows. Let's make your pictures matter. All right, let's get into Anna Kaya. Anna says, here's my submission. Lucky for me, I found a brave soul to help me. Nice one, calligraphy. By the way, I give stream control to the people who watch me. And that stream control means like they throw graphics, they screenshot me, they do all kinds of fun stuff. The vibe is like, although I'm a bit of an asshole. I'm not an asshole. I'm just kind. And the thing about kind people tell you the truth. Nice people lie to you. Nice people lie. They're like, oh my God, your photos are great. Like, that doesn't help you. Number one, I'd be lying. And number two, it doesn't help you get better. If I tell you the truth, you're going to improve from the truth, because then you go out and be like, oh my God, I do always do that when I shoot. When if you fix that mistake, now you can go on and make better photos and focus on fixing the next mistakes. So understand that, I'm not trying to be Peter McKinnon. Understand that. I'm not trying to be Peter McKinnon. There's no card tricks. There's no fucking I'm just literally giving you information. And my photo reviews are me actually being able to learn about you and learn about your photography and what you're trying to make a living at. Are you trying to be a fashion shooter? You're trying to shoot portraits, trying to shoot cars. And to just give you an example, and I have some crazy before and afters, and understand that so I'm not gonna be able to find these photos, but Sean Thomas is a shooter. He shoots cars, and this guy's work, he would take pictures of things he saw, cars he saw when he started. That's how he started. And then he met me and he paid me for a day in person twice. And he cried. It was amazing. So amazing, because now this is Sean's portfolio. And from a guy who used to just walk around and take pictures of cars that he saw, and now this is the level of work that he's not capturing, he's creating. He's meeting car owners, he's going to locations, he's putting the cars in the right locations, in the right light, and he's executing these pictures. He's working for the Volkswagen Group. He's doing photos for Porsche. He's now at that level that these photos got him noticed by Porsche. And he went from walking the streets and taking pictures of cars that he saw to stylizing, placing cars, meeting car owners, and now making work that literally stops you dead in your tracks when you're on Instagram, stops you dead in your tracks. And clearly Sean Thomas is a car photographer, right? Look at his portfolio. Look at his portfolio. Find me a dud. Find me a weak photo in his portfolio. And again, this is after working with him for a year. And Sean is, again, look at this photographer. Are you kidding me? So Sean right now is saying in chat, I tear up every time he mentions those days that we hung out together. Because again, it was like, it was real. And I just tell truth. Sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but when you're ready for it and you're like wanting to know how to be better and you seek it out and you get that information, it's liberating. It's joyous. And he left knowing exactly what he had to do. And then he did it. And now he's in my accelerator. Now he helps me with the Carty method. Like now he's like, he's a true believer. Because I changed his life. So again, he changed his own life. What are you giving me thumb down for? Well, because like this, it recognizes my gestures. I didn't even have my thumbs up. Watch. Thumb up? No? Okay, see, it does it only sometimes. All right, Anakaya. So Anna says, hey, Carty crew, here's my submission. Lucky for me, I found a brave soul to help me bring my frosty idea to life. I live in Canada with Anna. Anna lives in a place that's colder than me because she lives, imagine this, Anna lives 6 hours east-north of me. So for me today, it's a frosty -5. When Anna made this picture, it was -15. And we've been experiencing -15 temperatures over the last little bit. So Anna, a true soldier for dealing with the temperatures that she's dealing with. My word. Let's just go back to... You see, all this clock is kind of dope, eh? It's like... Except it dances a little when it scrolls. All right, this is Anna. Anna, oh my banana. Anna, you killed it. Let's get it on. Anna, let's get into this. This is a really technical, difficult picture to do. Obviously, it's very bright. Your exposure is a little hot. I want you to notice that your exposure is hot in here. It's up by, I would call this like a third. You need to drop the exposure here between 20% and I will call it 40%. Okay, so just drop the overall exposure. I haven't shown you my heart rate yet, guys. Let me put that up for you. That's the overall exposure, Anna. I feel... Because again, let's remember this is black, and you can see it's not quite reading as black as it could be. We're losing a little highlight detail in a couple of spots here. But this picture, I love so much. I love so much. You just have to fix the exposure, Anna. This is unequivocally an 11. This is a yes for me. Like, unequivocally. It's so good. So good. I want to show you this as a double. Look at how strategically you did this double page. You could have even punched in a little tighter, to be honest. Let's look at this. You could have even punched in a little tighter. You can see you could have gone even like there. But again, I like the fact that the horizon line isn't... I would even have dropped the horizon line a little lower. But I know like the snow is more important than the sky. So I understand why you placed it like this. This is a yes for me, Anna. I said that already. This is unequivocally an 11 out of 10. Unequivocally 11 out of 10. Unequivocally an 11 out of 10. Unequivocally an 11 out of 10. This is a yes, 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 yes. I said yes, 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 a yes. Yes. All right. All right. Are you guys having a good time? Are you having a good time? You enjoying watching my show right here? Every once in a while I do accents. It's like I don't really realize that I'm doing it. I just do it like because like I just, I don't know. I like talking to funny people. And I like watching the comedians. All right. Let's see who is next. Taylor, you with me? She's having a good time? All right. Let's see what Jennifer Grace has got me. All right. Jennifer says, I'm practicing my retouching skills and I know I have a long way to go. But here's what I was capable. Here's what I was able to compete. Okay. I'm freaking glitching. Let's try this again. Hey, Carty, I'm practicing my retouching skills and I know I have a long way to go, but here's what I was able to complete this week. Intended as a cover shot, the premise, girls with ink love Nike 2. EOS R, ISO 200, 6.3, ISO 160 is a 2-light setup from Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, I love this. This is a yes for me. I mean, it is a little posy. And again, just hearing what I've said to some of the earlier people in my show today, imagine this girl, these tattoos, this outfit, but now she's not posing, she's stretching. She's got a serious face on. She's not, hey babe, look how sexy I am. Because she's got that like, hey, you know how hot I am. Like, she's got that face on, which makes girls not likable. Just FYI, when they have that, like, look how hot I am face on, I don't like that. So it's up to you as the shooter to take an unbelievably beautiful girl and make her human. And that's what Nike does so amazingly. They take the most beautiful athletes and they make them human. They show them doing something. And again, what would make me happier was seeing this beautiful woman doing something hard instead of just basically telling us, look how hot and cool I am. Because for me, that's what she's saying. Also, her head angle is making this eye look much bigger than this eye. As you can see, just at that scale, how her head angle is making that eye look weird. And also she's pulling her chin in, which people do. It's our goal to tell people to project their chin out, which extends the jawline. But what she's doing is so if you look at it again, you can see what I mean. And she is doing that because when you look under here, you can see here that she's pulling in. Yes or yes, right? So these corrections is up to us. And then also when you see, because her head is cocked that way, but then her eyes are looking straight, you see this eye as her dominant eye it looks way bigger than that eye. So it looks like she has two different faces because you didn't have her shoot like her face like straight on. And again, she's trying. And because she's trying, girls are way hotter when they don't try. Just from a guy, girls are way hotter when they don't try. And for me, she's just, look at me. Look how cool I am. So she needs to do more. For me, she needs to do more to say that she is an athlete, like that she does stuff. For me, when she's just posing like this, she's just wearing the clothes. It's just making her a tattoo model. So your description said this is to show that people with tattoos can also just do it, but then what she is doing is nothing. She's just posing, saying, look at me. So for that reason, again, give her ropes, give her skip rope, give her like something that she's stretching with. Let her do stretches, let's see her move her body, put her in a yoga pose, which is why, again, if you look at the difference between this, which is equally a beautiful girl, but she's not trying to be beautiful because she's too busy stretching. She's busy in her moment. This girl's too busy to stretch because she's too busy showing you how hot she is. You know what I mean? You got to see the difference, and you have to understand that Nike is not attracted to this. They're attracted to the people who are doing stuff. So this for me is a portrait of somebody wearing Nike stuff, and a posy portrait at that. Jennifer, for me, this is definitely a miss on an ad for Nike. Skin retouching, I haven't looked at that too close. Let's look at that. You said that you were working on skin retouching, so let's have a look at this. Again, I'm not sure what you did here, but I still think like I see some stuff happening possibly under here. But again, because of the cross light, you're accentuating every flaw when you light a female from the side. Just saying, which is why I always talk about front light. Front light, front light, front light. Because you're lighting, and I can see your light right here, you're lighting her from camera right. You have this side lit and this side a little shaded. But because of that, you're also, when you look at skin at maximum detail, you are creating micro shadows on every pore by lighting that way. So that is like, again, I light men this way. I don't light women this way. I light women from the front, unless they have 17-year-old skin. If they do, then you can light them from the front, from the side. But if they're regular adult women, then in you lighting them this way, know that you're accentuating all their flaws. I hope you know. All right, this is Jennifer Grace. Thanks for submitting. All right, I need to see more. Like I'm needing to see somebody blow me away again here. Needing it. Jennifer, thank you for submitting. This is Eric Hernandez. This is my first submission. I'm excited to be here. A friend's daughter plays softball at a state. I just happened to be in town this past weekend, so I reached out for help. Been learning about shooting with high-speed sync using strobes, but hadn't incorporated the technique, so I used this assignment to do so. R6, 50mm 1.8, ISO 100, f5, a 6,000th of a second. You're going to learn that it's not a thing. High-speed sync, it's just not a thing. And I'm going to tell you why it's not a thing. It's because the duration of the flash is 1/50,000th of a second. 1/50,000th of a second. So you shooting at 6,000th of a second is not making the flash flashier. It's not. It's not doing actually anything except darkening everything around your scene and making it feel like a studio picture instead of, again, I think that's what it's going to look like. So Eric, high-speed sync isn't a thing. Sync your camera at your camera's flash sync speed, which is going to be between 125 and 250, depending on the camera. But if you have an R6, it's going to be ISO 180, I think. But shooting, like, I don't shoot high-speed sync because, like, okay. Anyways, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at your photo before I lose my marbles here at like techniques that are unnecessary techniques for the type of photography that you're doing. But let's look at what Eric is doing. Eric, this is a great photo that you absolutely, unequivocally, I'm going to say it 3 times, do not need high-speed sync for. I'm going to say it again. This is a photo that you unequivocally do not need high-speed sync for. What do you, like, you're not freezing anything. And again, the flash freezes it. So all you're doing by shooting high-speed sync is making this picture have like this dull sort of odd feeling. And also get a light meter. Invest your time in actually learning how to use a light meter instead of trusting a camera, which has no brain. It's just a tool to tell you what your exposure is, which you're doing by using a speed light and high-speed sync. So, good idea, bad flash placement. Because you can see here, the way that you're placing the flash, look, you're literally, I can see 2 flash. So it essentially, here's your head and you're doing like this. You're lighting flash, flash. like you're cross lighting. And I can see because of that shadow, and I can also see because I can see it right there in the eye that you're doing side side. Look at the shadow that's created here. I don't know if that's because of the sun, because of where you placed her, but also the shadow that's placed here, which looks like your flash is low, aiming up, not on a stand, aiming down. So you need to learn lighting and not just buy stuff and just put it, and like, again, speed lights are like literally the bane of existence for professional photography is speed lights. Speed lights are absolutely the worst thing that you can use in photography, the worst. Like literally the worst. Studio strobes is what you use, battery powered studio lights that you can use umbrellas, you can put them on stands, sandbags, you can control the height just like you would be in the studio. And then high-speed sync. You're not using high-speed sync because you're using a light meter and actually taking light ratios so you can measure the ambient light, measure the light of the flash, and you can control the darkness of your background. So all of that aside, the technical stuff aside, this is a very good effort. I'm noticing a very center-focused horizontal, which again sometimes works if it's like a billboard composition, but would you agree with this photo? If this was going to be in a magazine, this is what it would look like if it was double page in a magazine, which doesn't really work. And then would you also agree that there's not really anything important on the left or the right of this frame? Like really, there's nothing important on the left or the right of the frame other than more of the same. So in theory, you could have just shot this as a vertical and literally lost nothing as far as meaning, as well as used your whole sensor instead of just a third of it, which is what you're doing now. So these are my opinions. The flash placement, again, you got to watch some of my studio videos where I'm shooting in studio so you can get a sense of light, how you're doing two lights from the front. There's only one sun. Please don't light with two lights in the front. And again, just where you're placing them. The sun comes top down, but if you're lighting underneath head level, you're up lighting, which it's never flattering, which I think you're doing in this case. So for me, again, the outfit, sick. The big blue sky, sick. But also, like, why not, if you're going to be seeing these hydro poles, why not place her in the middle of, and you move over so the hydro poles are symmetrical? Like, why not do that? If you're going to shoot her in front of a big sky, why not drop the horizon line lower and not shoot her up against a hill so the horizon line drops right through the exact center of the photo, which is, you know what I mean? So there are these kinds of things that, like, you have to think further about exactly where you're placing. The outfit, yes. The pose, yes. So again, it's your first submission. I don't want to be too hard on you. I want to discourage you to keep submitting. But for your first submission, this is a very, very, very good effort. But you got to listen to everything that I said. This is a vertical picture you shot horizontally, the double flash from the front, high speed sync. Please stop doing that immediately. And all of that other shit that I'm saying. Cool? 80 people watching. Holy shit.
Treat everybody like a superstar. Famous people less like a superstar. I treat famous people like real people. I started as a photographer, I would say professionally, when I was 20. My brother's a fine art painter, heavy influence on me, and I couldn't paint, so when I discovered the camera, it was really easy for me to express myself creatively. Everybody's in the business of glorifying celebrities, so capturing them, it's already glorifying them by photographing them. So if I can get them a little bit more understated, I feel like it brings up the real. In 1997, I shot Tom York from Radiohead, most important picture of my career. In 2001, I shot Pharrell Williams for Peace magazine. Again, very important picture. Colin Firth, a week before he won his Oscar, career moving pictures where that picture propels a whole new wave of clients, a whole new wave of people looking at my work. I think pivotal career-changing pictures are more important than favorite pictures, because they're all my favorite. whole idea is make good stuff and share it and do it every day.
Blah, 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 in case you don't know who you're watching. All right, Joshua Haney, white shirt. Just do it, even when it's below freezing outside. Spec work for Nike's new winter campaign. Shot on location on a snowy trail near my home. Nikon, Nike. He shot with a Canon. That's why I just shot myself in the head. Shot with a Canon R6. I'm so sorry, Joshua. 85 millimeter 2.0. You got to tell me what that new 85 is like. The 85 2.0, the RF version. I want to know what that lens is like. I'm very curious. I'm still shooting with my 85 millimeter EF USM from 1995. ISO 320, f11, 60th of a second. Shot with one newer strobe with a beauty dish. Good shit. This is Joshua Haney. Joshua, this is a vibe. I mean, this is more of a fashion editorial kind of a feeling, which I appreciate. For me, the light placement, I want you to notice, like, again, the number one thing that we're watching when it comes to light placement is the shadow from the nose. That is the number one thing that we are watching, is the shadow from the nose. And I'm going to show you, we're going to track this shadow on your subject's face. And do you see this nose shadow? The way that this, number one, this accentuates the shape of her nose. It accentuates it. And it also, because you're lighting her from the side, obviously we have like a little bit of side here, light here. She's got nice young skin, so you can light her side, like from the side, without it like being, but you need to go further that way with the light. So this nose shadow actually joins this shadow. And then now we have this pocket of light here, which then becomes Rembrandt light. But again, it's because your light, or you have to have her turn her face more this way. If she turned her face more this way, then the nose will track there, and then that nose shadow is going to join there, and then you have Rembrandt lighting. So if her face stays in this position, number one, you got to sky the light, because light travels in straight lines. If we draw the tip of her nose right here to this light, I can see exactly where your light is placed, and I can tell you that that light's not high enough. It's not high enough because there's still going to be the gap here, under here. Like once that, if you keep it on that same trajectory, but just move it that way, what that's going to happen is now that nose shadow is going to join here, but you're going to have all this light down here on her lip that's not lit, which means you have to sky the light, which means your light has to get skied. So your light goes up here. And now that pushes that nose shadow that way. And also, you also bring the light that way. And then that nose shadow jumps here. This closes up and you have this beautiful, beautiful Rembrandt lighting on location. Now, your exposure is spot on, Joshua. Your exposure is spot on, like the white on white, but the body language is wrong. Again, I've said this a couple of times today. With this girl in this location, imagine she's just standing and she's looking off. She's looking off into her future, wearing this outfit. Now I see it. The fact that she's crouching down, that now fucks up this back shoe. Look how bad this back shoe looks. Like, how good does this back shoe look? Not good. Yes or yes. And then guess what? How we're showing the good shoe is we're showing the shoe from the inside, and you never show the inside of a shoe. You always show the outer. Literally, all you need to do is look at shoe advertising. All you need to do is look at Nike shoes. You never see the inside of a shoe. Ever, 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 ever. It is always the outside of the shoe. It is always the outside. You don't see the inside. So because we always only see the outside of the shoe, like this is wrong. This is wrong because no, actually this is right, because this is the left foot forward and the inside shoe back. So these are like isms when it comes to footwear. Like, you don't shoot the shoe this way because that's showing the inside of the shoe. You only shoot the shoe this way, showing the outside of the shoe. You see, outside. outside of the shoe. And again, you don't shoot it like this, which is showing the inside of the shoe. You show only the outside. So these are isms. Again, this is someone like you never show the inside of the shoe. You can see like it's always the outside, always, 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 always. So again, example, always the outside of the shoe, the outside of the front shoe. Here again, outside of the front shoe. It's never the back. It's here's another. You see the outside of the back of the front shoe and then the inside of the other one. So this is like, these are isms of when you're shooting footwear. Always the outside of the shoe. So when we're here now, and I'm now telling you that part, you can see her crouching and just showing this part of the photo. It's just not flattering. You can understand that, right? Like it's just not flattering ever for a woman to be crouching on her feet for a photo. It just doesn't work ever. So women need to be long. You need to shoot them standing. And the only way that they can sit is if they're sitting on something, like sitting on a bench, sitting on a stool, so they can actually then vibe that way. So these are all things that you have to really watch. Like so close, Joshua, the right location, wrong pose, wrong light. So for me, it's like, it's so close. And again, it's like, you're an amazing photographer and I know what you're capable of. You had all the right elements, but for me, not enough research on how the product needs to appear and not enough research on how my model should be within this scene. Like that's the stuff that like takes your work to like the next level. Still, Joshua, it's an amazing shot. It's a great shot. I'm giving you love. But again, it's like, I'm not going to break my arm patting people on the back when the picture, like Nike wouldn't pay attention to it. Nike wouldn't notice it. And for this and this and this and this and this reason. But when they like, again, I'm still waiting to see something that could go straight to Nike as is. So next is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont says, hey, Lamont here. Selected this image for this young man's look. I was going for a new season high draft freshman on campus. Shot this outside on the football field at Texas Southern University in Houston. This young man is a 6'3" high schooler. Thanks again, Carty, for your insights on my work. Let me know your thoughts. Just do it campaign for a billboard. Z6 50mm ISO 400 f14 1/25 of a second, shot with a 38-inch beauty dish with a Godox AD200 Pro. This is Lamont DeSalle. Lamont, let's get it on. This is a yes for me, but a no for me at the same time, and I'm going to show you why. It's a yes for me because you definitely have the color, the vibe. The placement of, obviously this is sunlight. You can see we're kind of losing his face in the sunlight. You needed a reflector on camera left in order to bring up the detail back in this face. Exposure's a little dark. I mean, it's on point, but because it's direct sun creates contrast. Now this is where I have the issue. Number one, look at this, if this was a cover. Do you see how his head is too high in the masthead in order for this to be a cover? Yes or yes. Next, I want you to see this as an 8x10. When this now goes to Instagram and I now bring this down into an 8x10, this is your frame now, Lamont. So you can see what happened to his feet, bro. What happened to his feet? Like you're going to crop him at the ankle? Well, really, no. And then you start to look at this, here and think, wow, should I have included that? Or should I have just stepped over just a bit and moved back just a bit so I could have just clear blue sky? So the Nike ball, definite, the Nike this, but the Nike sock and the Nike shoes, like we're missing the head to toe Nike because of this crop. You can see that, yeah? So it's important for you to know when you shoot an 8x10, when you shoot a vertical frame, you need to look literally at you need to cut an inch off the top and the bottom of your frame, because you're losing either 2 inches off the top, or you're losing 2 inches off the bottom, or you're losing a little bit here and a lot of, like, you have to give your images space within the frame. And it's a secret, but if you see how, like, if you just look at some of my verticals, you'll see it's all like locked in the way that I compose. Like, look at this image on my website, and if I take this frame and I bring this frame down and show you what this looks like as an 8x10, you can see this picture still works exactly the same as an 8x10. And then when you look at it as a cover, you can see it works as a cover. Obviously, I'm not going to move my layouts all over the place, but that's what you have to be thinking about when you're shooting verticals. When you're shooting verticals, it's like every vertical is a cover, but also it's not the whole frame. So you have to frame it in such a way that the picture still works as an 8x10 without you losing anything. So that's something that you have to kind of lock in. Super important. So for me, Lamont, I would call this a claustrophobic frame, where you're like, okay, I got the right space here. 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 Okay, perfect. He's centered. Perfect. And then the art director gets this picture and he says this: what the fuck are you doing? Have you never framed a picture before? Do you understand that magazines aren't 2x3 proportion? They're closer to 4x5. They're closer to 4x5.5. They're closer to a 4.5x5, like 9x12, 4.5x6. Like, that's closer to the proportion. So why are you giving me frames that are so claustrophobic that I can't choose any other layout except for cutting the feet off? So that kind of stuff. I mean, your photography teacher isn't telling you this. You're not learning this on YouTube. And I'm sorry to say, you're learning this on YouTube right now from my channel, but from the average photographer, you're not learning this on YouTube. And the reason is because most of the people on YouTube aren't photographers. They're fucking YouTubers. So they're not able, they just make, oh, look at this great. And it's just basically a circle jerk about how great they are. But where's the commercial work? Where's your work in the industry? You're just making videos for YouTube. So for me, I'm a photographer first. I do this as a service. It's literally a public service because I want the industry to be better. I want the next generation of photographers to be better. I went pro when I was 20 in 1990. Many of you weren't even born when I went pro, and it was film. So you had to do this on film. There was no click and look and see the picture on the back of the screen. You had to wait a week to see if you fucked up. So my level of standards are because I shot with film commercially for 20 years before I shot digital, before I got to see pictures as I was shooting them. You get to see your photos as you shoot them. Like, there's no excuse to be shit anymore. Simple. So, but the people need information, because you can master exposure, shutter speed, all that shit on your own, but how to make a living at it, that's what I'm for. That's what I come in. All right. So let's get into our next shooter. Lamont, I hope that this gives you a very, very big understanding as to why I'm upset with this framing. This is an absolute banger of a just do it photo, but the crop. I'm giving you an 11 though. I'm giving you an 11 because this is an incredible effort. It's an incredible effort. The color composition, it's like this. If you needed to be, in order to be successful, you think you'd have to be 10 out of 10. You got to be an 11 out of 10 to be successful. An 11 out of 10, and then also consistent 11s every single time. You do that, not like I shoot an 11 and then like a 4, and then I shoot an 11 and then like a 2. It's like, no, it's like consistency over time is how you're shooting for magazines, and everybody is talking about your work. Like, consistency. You're only as good as your last shoot. So don't rest on your laurels. All right, this is our next photographer. This one's name is Michael Steinmetz. Michael says, Elroy, one of my PVC stick figures, was sad that Miss Caitlin is leaving the Fever to go play in Europe. Don't get me wrong. He's excited for her, but the truth is that he'll never meet her and set hard on his shoulders. Caught him tearing his favorite poster down. R8 50 millimeter. I'm confused, Mike. R8 50 millimeter 1.8 ISO 100 1/30th of a second at f8 8200 a quarter of a second with a 30-inch octobox. Silver reflector, camera left. This is Mike Steinmetz. Mike, I definitely see what you're trying to do here, but this is a Nike ad that I asked for. I asked for a Nike ad. And number one, I'm seeing Werner. That's the brand that I'm seeing. Next, I'm seeing Wilson. I'm seeing Wilson again here. And I'm seeing this like PVC thing basically putting his crotch area very close to her mouth area. And then I'm seeing a very small Nike logo over here. So for me, Mike, I'm wondering what the fuck, personally. If you're asking what I'm wondering what the fuck. Because for me, this is a Nike ad that I asked for. And this is not you buying a pair of Nikes and working product photography with those Nikes. This isn't you taking a pair of Nikes and then getting one of your saws and cutting it in half and shooting pictures of that. Like, I needed you to incorporate your niche with this brand and make something that absolutely screams and that you would want to tag Nike in. Mike, would you tag Nike in this photo? Like, tag the ladder company. And again, the whole idea of him, it's your whole description just you jumped the shark, dude. Back in the day with like Happy Days, for those of you who are old enough to remember Happy Days, they ran out of fucking ideas. And at one point, what they decided that they would do was put the Fonz on water skis, and he was going to literally jump a shark because they ran out of ideas. For me, you just jumped the shark, Mike. Seriously. And that term, jumping the shark, literally came from just you're dressing up something and calling it something it's not. And for me, this is not what I asked for. You missed the brief completely. Again, whether you're trying to make a joke or whatever, no, bro, no. And look at the look it puts on my face. You know what I mean? I'm just like, why are you wasting my time? Seriously. Like, this is an opportunity to actually do something that can go in your portfolio and like make a difference. And alrighty. Okay. Next shooter is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph says, hey family, Houston surprised me with snow. What? Texas snow? Kicking off the day with some yoga. Just do it. EOS R 50 millimeter ISO 400 3/20th of a second at 5.6 natural light. This is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph, thanks for submitting. I definitely see what you're doing here. I'm not sure about the use of the location and the skimming of the background, because you're hitting this background in a way that's not straight on. Like, your lines are doing really weird things from up here. Your lines now are like, they're just doing weird things. And then the lines of the, like, the location, the wall, yes. But if you're in a place that never has snow, but then now suddenly has snow, would you not go to like grass that is covered in snow and put this? I understand the non-distracting background, but then if you're going to use the non-distracting background, why are you trying to include anything that is below down here? Do you know what I mean? So for me, this is a nice portrait up here and a nice background and nice even light. But the yoga mat here in this place, no one would put a yoga mat there. So even the context of like like, I don't know, this it just isn't it. It just isn't it. And then she has no Nike branding on anything up here. She's not wearing Nike tights. She's only wearing Nike shoes, and they're old and misshapen and not Nike's best hour. This Flyknit is literally some of the ugliest shit that Nike's ever fucking put out. So choosing Flyknit to shoot as like ads, this is not the shoe at all. So for me, it's like, for so many reasons, like that shoe it's at the very bottom of the frame, and there's not enough, like, all your interest is right here. Like, this look on her face is so good, but it's like the picture, it's almost like it doesn't need anything else. Like, that look on her face is so good, but it's like, but then there's nothing in the rest of the photo that holds me. Like, I believe in her determination. So I agree with the subject, but I don't agree with where you put her, what she's wearing, how she's posing, and the way that you hit the background, the way that you hit it, like you skimmed it. It's just like, this background, it just doesn't make sense for me. Like, trying to include the snow. If you're going to include the snow, you need to show snow on trees. You got to show it differently than just pushed up against the wall. This is a bit of a miss for me, Joseph. I'm upset, but it is what it is. It's a bit of a miss. I feel like not the right outfit, not the right shoes, not the right picture. All right. See who's next. This is Sean Thomas. Sean says, "Good day, Carty and crew. Blessings to all. Here's my just do it yourself assignment. EOS are Tamron 24 to 72.8, ISO 1000, 80th of a second, 5.6. Outdoor light with an additional Amaran 200 continuous light with softbox." This is Sean Thomas. Sean, this is a yes for me. I'm not sure about the shoes. The shoes aren't the right shoe. It's not the right shoe. It's like a dad shoe, which I kind of get. Obviously, you just heard me talk about shooting the inside of this shoe. I know you're kind of limited. But the idea, the pose, the product styling, I'm very, very behind. Very behind. Let's look at this as a cover. As a cover, this is clever. It's clever as a cover. Let's look at this as a 4x5 proportion or an 8x10. We can pull this down and choose how much of the car, how much of the floor we show. I like this, Sean. I hate the Nikes that you chose, but I do know that they're popular. I'm not 100% on the seeing the inside of this shoe here, but I understand body language. It becomes really weird to do it any other way. Like, you're doing a top down. You can't show the outside of that foot without making it look like you're dead underneath the car. The fact that you have all the same color products, this is just a yes. And then the very nondescript, almost invisible car really, really works for me, Sean. So this is a yes. This is a yes. Again, just do it. Is it again, you editorialized this. Would Nike post this? I don't know. I don't know if Nike would post this, but can you use this and convey all of the same messaging? Yeah, I would say yeah, you can, for sure. This is a yes for me, Sean. Well done. Again, it's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dick today. I swear to God, I'm not. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I the fucking bar is so high. Like, you have to understand, the bar is so high. It's like, I have a pair of Nikes in the cabinet here that I've been holding them just to photograph them. Like, I've never worn them. I've had them for 2 years. 2 years. And I'm either wearing them to like a crazy photo shoot. But the thing is about these Nikes, you can't get them anymore. So there's no way that they get to touch the ground. Come on. Are you kidding? Look at that. Like, patent leather. Are you kidding me? So, like, this is the kind of shoe for me that imagine if this picture had a Jordan 1. And by the way, you would never wear a Jordan 1 mechanicking, which makes it even funnier. So, guys, if there's one thing to spend money on, it's running shoes. Seriously, it's all you have is running shoes and sunglasses. And like, ladies, answer me this. Answer me this. You see a guy, he's wearing like a ripped up t-shirt, Converse, skinny jeans, but he has on some literally like $500 sunglasses. But he's wearing like ripped distressed t-shirt and like skinny jeans and Converse. You're like, that guy's got mad style. Now, take these sunglasses off, now that guy could be homeless. You know what I mean? So, guys, style, sunglasses. The first time you make a big check with photography, my recommendation always is take half the money. Make $1,000 on a photo shoot. Take half the money. Take $500. Go buy a pair of Gucci sunglasses. Go buy a pair of Pradas. Buy Retro Super Future. Buy a pair of sunglasses that are so disgusting, so fucking dope, but you'd never buy them because they're just too much money. Buy those sunglasses. And then those are just your glasses now. So when people see you, they're just like, yo. And again, it's just like it just creates this vibe around you, you know? Like you're someone to be listened to. You're someone who doesn't give a fuck. So, I don't know. It's just, sunglasses and kicks are like the only thing that I'll just spend money. I don't care. Just, yeah. And again, I don't buy like $500 kicks, but I'll buy them. I'll buy like the right ones at Foot Locker. And like I'll spend like $300 at Foot Locker or $280 or something. And then just put them in a cabinet and like wear them for the right day. You know what I mean? All right. This is our friend Amund Thompson. Sean, you did well, by the way. Amund says, working on my product photography for this assignment as I'll need to offer it with selected clients in my area. It was fun pushing my boundaries and also experimenting with light painting. Thank you, Carty, always for pushing us to grow. You're welcome, Amund. I appreciate you. Fuji X-T5, 27mm 1.2, ISO 125, 10-second exposure, f11. Single strobe with a small handheld RGB. This is Amund Thompson. Amund, this is such a yes for me. This is such a yes for me. Like, how did my lights just go green? This is such a yes for me. Like, this brings me joy. Number one, the light painting and the color of the light painting versus the basketball. Number two, the placement of the light painting and the way that you use depth, where you went behind the ball and in front of the ball, is very big brain. Let's see this as a double. It's a little claustrophobic on the ball as a double. You can see you're a little tight. I would kind of make the ball a little smaller in frame, like back up just a tight, because you have the whole space. You know what I mean? It can be a little smaller, but design-wise, like, I do love this. This is definitely a yes for me. I mean, this is a yes. The only issue, again, is it's just a little tight. It's just a little tight. I would also wouldn't mind seeing just one swish that way, because you can see, like, you have this, you have this arc, round ball, this arc, this. And this is our only negative, like, under arc. And I would love to have seen a light painting arc underneath that way, which would have kind of like underlined this swoosh a little bit more. And again, just watch when we see this double page, just watch how that's going to really touch the gutter. That ball's going to get pinched when the two magazine pages pinch together. You did very well, Emma. Good job. I'm giving you an 11, okay? That's an 11 out of 10, my guy. Taylor, you liking it? Yeah? Happy? All right. Okay. My lights. We are in, let's turn the lights red. Heart rate? Hey, I appreciate that. How's my heart rate? Am I still alive? Yeah, still heart still beating. It's my actual heart rate, by the way. Yeah, it's the 23rd of the month. Let me change this light to actually how I like it. There we go. All right. Emin Thompson, you did well, kid. This is Liza Haidar. Liza Haidar, one of my favorite names to say. Oh my God, it's 1985. 1985. What are you guys doing here, glitching me and shooting selfies? It's pretty funny. That's my chat who's doing that, by the way. It's not me. All right, Liza says, hey, Carty, this is Mufasa with SMG Modeling Agency. I asked SMG. Oh my goodness, I keep messing up. This is a live show, by the way. This is a live show, in case you were wondering. I do this live. Liza Haidar. Liza says, this is Mufasa. I asked SMG to send me an athletic male model for this assignment. You know what's hilarious? When you're a photographer, you can literally just pick up the phone and be like, hey, agency, send me handsome men that are athletic. And then guess what? They do. Or you can say, you know what, agency, I'm looking for blondes with blue eyes. Send me only them, okay? And then guess what? They do. They send you an email with a package. It's called a package. You get a package of all their models, and then you just look at a bunch of books, and you're like, oh my God, Sarah with the freckles? And then the next day, Sarah with the freckles is at your studio. And then you do a photo shoot. It's what photographers do. Anyways, Liza. So Liza said Mufasa plays basketball, so this was a bonus for my Just Do It mood board. Went to my local Nike basketball shop and purchased some new tops, pair of shorts, and a brand new basketball. I'm going to say again. I went to my local Nike store and bought new Nike tops, a pair of shorts, and a brand new basketball. Why ever would you do that? Like, because you wanted to make sure that the products in your shots were new and fresh and on the brand that you were trying to get across. Shot against a concrete wall in my studio using my new Pro Photo AccuPack, Acute Pack, one strobe combined with an extra large Pro Photo silver umbrella. Shot center focused horizontal with a billboard concept in mind. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. So understand that she shot center focused. She's saying, I shot this center focused because it's going to be a billboard. I want you to watch the intention and how that's different. Okay, retouching by Soheil, Nikon D850, 50mm 1.4, ISO 200, f9 at 250 to the second. I'm going to be hard on you, Liza. You know that. Liza Haidar, everybody. Liza, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing what you're doing here. I appreciate it. It's a little stylized. And for me, seeing this break here in the wall, I would really rather see nothing below here. I'd push him a little closer to the wall so you can see a little bit further down on his legs, and I would have cut the floor out altogether and just see the concrete, because I'm going to show you what it would look like. Look at this now. If I do just this, oops. So now you don't see the floor. Do you see the difference? Just how that feels now versus seeing the floor. Now it's like, now for me, now that's way closer. And again, it's a very small thing showing there, the whole thing, and that last crop that I gave you, just cutting that floor out. Like, that's what I'm asking for. I'm not going to do the overlay because you're saying that this is a billboard, but for me, it's a little posed, meaning he's a handsome guy, but the way that he's holding the ball, I can tell that you said literally, like, just make your motion towards that way and just hold the ball and make sure we're holding the ball with your hands like this and we can see the logo. Like, it's too perfect. It's like too far like trying to be perfect. It's close, but I would love to see some like outtakes. Your light, I like the fact that you brought your light from this side, so it's like he's looking directly into the light. You got great nose angle and eyes following where his nose expression, but again, it's just the way he's holding the basketball. This is incredibly unbelievable. And where you're dropping this horizon, I would really want that to not be in the picture. For me, you could literally have just leaned him against here and had the ball under his arm and just did like an editorial style photo. I hope you shot some of those. If so, I'd be interested in looking at them. But for me, I'm losing it here in the hand, but I'm still giving you love. I'm still giving you all the love. I'm still giving you all the love. This is a great shot. And again, it's very technically good. Very technically perfect. Great focus. Just seeing it close up. Great exposure. Like, Liza, again, these are I'm talking to people who are in my accelerator program, and I'm hard on them because I'm trying to turn them into the top 1%. So that's basically the vibe. Liza, I'm so incredibly proud of you. Good job, girl. Good job. Good job. But again, remember all the things that I said. Of course. Remember all the things that I said. You did, Joe. You did well. All right. And our last photo of the day. Is Nick Johnson. And Nick says this. This is very much my own just do it. Being in, like, you have to understand, Nick lives in Oregon. Nick lives in the birthplace for Nike. Okay? So Nick says, this is very much my own just do it. Being in the literal birthplace of Nike, I've always felt the need to hold off until the time was right to approach working with them to approach work with them in mind. It's the very PNW. It's the photographer's white whale. So, and again, I'm going to put my Nike stuff on my website. Again, it's a little old, but I should do that. This assignment combined with last week's podcast really drove home something. I always say to others that perfect is the enemy of better. So I took a risk. Thank you, Carty, for always reminding me to push myself. This is a very fast gentleman, and he is a Canadian silver medalist, Olympian. He's a current Team Nike member. His name is Mohammed Ahmed, who I had the great fortune of being introduced to through an existing client. I wanted to photograph him in a way that humanizes more than highlights his abilities, and yet clearly identifies him as a Nike member, as a member of the Nike family of athletes. Shot with the new R5 Mark II, shot with the 50mm RF 1.2, ISO 100 F11. Welcome, Bella. And four strobes, starting with the gridded white beauty dish, 2 3-foot gridded strips, and a 7-inch reflector behind him towards the black seamless. This is Nick Johnson. Nick. This is Nick. And again, like, thank you for being Nick. And thank you for not trying to be anything that you're not. This is so good, Nick. This is so you. The light is incredibly good, Nick. Like, the detail on, like, this Nike shirt. Like, the detail, like, the thing about this is you actually technically went into the tech fabric so you could actually see the detail. Nick, this combines your editorial portrait style of photography and an ad for Nike. This is as close to the Kaepernick idea as you could ask for. Exposure is just a touch hot, Nick. Exposure in here, you need to drop this by 10%. Watch it. It's so slight. And I know you're going to think 10%, trust me, drop this 10 to 15%. It's going to, you're not going to lose any detail here. It's just going to, like, his skin is just feeling just a little too silver gray. It needs to be just one octave lower, which is, we're going to call it octave 10%. Nick, this brings me joy. Let's look at this as a cover. Like, come on, Nick. This brings me joy. And again, Nick is in my accelerator. He's also one of my cartel. Like, know this, man. Like, you're a great photographer, Nick. You are going to do so fine. You're going to do so fine. And again, you've been with me for first 3 months of one-on-one coaching, 3 months of one-on-one coaching, and then 6 months of my accelerator. I mean, you're a killer. You're a killer. And again, Nick, this just brings me such joy. This is a yes all day. This is a yes all day, Nick. Very, very, very well done. Guys, it brings us to the end of today's show. Yeah? Like, I mean, I have to, what I do at the end of the show is I give photos of the week. And I'm going to also remind you about next week's assignment, which is due Wednesday midnight. Wednesday midnight my time, Eastern time. I don't care about your time. Wednesday midnight for me, which is New York time or Toronto time, Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to look at some photos of the week. I will be back with my selection. Are you a photographer ready to go pro? Or maybe you're a working photographer struggling to sustain your business? My coaching programs are designed to meet you where you are and give you the guidance needed to move your needle forward. Whether you're looking for a focused 1-hour session to fix a specific challenge, or you need the type of ongoing support that 6 1-hour time slots would give you, I'm here to help you master the systems and build a career that you've been aiming for. By the way, if you book me for one of my ongoing coaching sessions, you pay for 5 sessions and you get 6. With over 34 years of professional experience, I guide you through the key aspects of creating a thriving photography business. Whether that's building a standout portfolio, or sharpening your brand, or even setting up systems that bring in clients consistently. First of all, I give you flexible coaching options. Choose a single 1-hour session to get some quick insights, or you can commit to 6 sessions for a full transformation. I can even walk you through my proven systems one-on-one. Whether you're looking to break into the industry or you're struggling to keep your business afloat, these sessions are personalized to focus on what will actually move the needle for you. You're going to get real-time expert guidance, and believe me, there is no one-size-fits-all advice. You're going to get actionable insights and hands-on support to address your unique challenges and unlock your full potential. You don't have to do this alone, eh? Let's work together to take your photography career to the next level. Whether that means finally going pro or creating a thriving, sustainable photography business. Visit thecartymethod.com/coaching to book your session today. Let's get to work. All right, guys, we have some amazing photos of the week. This is how I'm going to do the photos of the week this week. It's like this. Does it work or not? Would Nike want to see this or not? And I am going to be fucking ruthless. I'm sorry to say. I have to be. The photography is good. The photography is good. The photography has to be great. It doesn't have... And in order to win a photo of the week, it's got to be fucking great. In order to win best in show, it has to be spectacular and literally need no fixes. So I'm going to award photos of the week to photos that I believe work for this idea and this brief. And again, I'm being rough, but these photos work. Starting with Christina Nicole. Congratulations, Christina. Yeah, I'm hard on you. I have to be, because you're so close. You're so close. But I can't hear the sloppy. I can't hear I didn't bring my strobo. Like, this is so close, but it could be so much better if you did it with even more intention. Light it, get an assistant, get someone to help you, and do it in a location that you're not going to get kicked out. Do it in a location that you're not going to get kicked out, so you're not worried about being kicked out, so you can actually make the photo without just rushing through it and not setting up properly. Okay? That's how well you did half-ass. Like, this is how well you did half-assing it, Christina Nicole. So imagine if you didn't half-ass it, how great a photography would be. It's Christina. Photo of the week. Congratulations. Next photographer getting photo of the week. Again, another shooter. Next photo of the week. Steve Bordeaux. Steve, congratulations, buddy. Again, Steve, like, all you needed to do is throw a strobe from the same direction that the natural light was coming from to give you all of that exposure so you wouldn't have to shoot this at ISO 75,000. You heard me? All right. Next photo of the week. This guy. This is absolutely a brilliant picture, but dude, your next photo of the week goes to Salim El Madani with this photo. Salim, the fingers, bro. The fingers. Please watch that shit. Great job. Salim El Madani. Next shooter. Photo of the week. This shooter's consistency is so unbelievable, but now I'm starting to see a trend that's happening that happened months ago, half a year ago. This habit, Anna, and I corrected it with you. I corrected it with you over months and months and months of work, and I'm seeing it again. And that habit is overexposure. Anna, with our next photo of the week. Anna Kaya. Congratulations, Anna. This is fantastic. It is also a third of a stop over. Between 20% and 33% overexposed. Please drop the exposure. Absolutely banger of a photo, Anna. Killer. Photo of the weeks. I gotta be insane here with these photos of the week. Our next photo of the week. Lamont DeSalle with this photo right here. Lamont, well done. Well done again, Lamont. Remember everything I said about the framing. You should never forget what I talked to you about framing-wise from this episode. Watch it 3 times. Literally, watch the review on this photo 3 times. Our next photo of the week. And the way that this photographer managed to include his niche in this picture so he could use it in his social media is genius. Our next shooter, photo of the week. This goes to Sean Thomas. Sean, well done, buddy. Well done. Again, I know if you had more dough, you'd go and buy sicker shoes for this picture, but you bought ones that match. Just imagine if they were the North Carolina Jordan 1s. You know, North Carolina, white with baby blue. Same ones as the ones that I pulled out, but white with baby on that. Oh, Sean. Very well done, buddy. Photo of the week. Congratulations. All right. Photo of the week. This is Amond Thompson, everybody. This is a photo of the week from Amond. Amond, very well done. Bro, look at how you match the RGB color to the basketball exactly. Remember what I said with the placement of your light painting? But overall, this is an absolutely excellent photo. You should be very pleased. It's Amond. I mean, again, doesn't fit in your book. You need to make a whole portfolio of just product photography and possibly market yourself a little different, because it's a totally different, like, it's another photographer that we're building, and I understand that. But if I work with you, we can turn it into lifestyle. We can do it kind of the way that Raymond Mayer did it. So the work all fits together. Raymond Mayer. That's Amon Thompson, everybody. Our next photo of the week, and I got to tell you, I'm going to be honest. I'm really on the fence for this, and I do love it, but it's the stylizing, but it's too good for me to not acknowledge. It's too good, and again, because now you're Cartel, Miss Liza Hyder, everything elevates. Guys, you just heard me. Your next photo of the week winner, Liza Hyder. Liza, well done, Liza. Well done. Again, Liza, I see you 3 years from now. And I have to be gentle with you because I have to understand that, like, I'm going to cry now. I have to understand that, like, I see you I see you 3 years from now, and I see what you'll be doing and the work that you'll be making, and I see that. So for me, I try to like just fast forward you. Like I want to just punch you like 3 years ahead. So you're experiencing that right now. But you have to go through these growing pains. You have to go through these like I call them micro mistakes. You have to go through these micro mistakes because you've already managed all of the major mistakes. You fixed all the major mistakes. Now you're literally like tuning a shortwave radio. You know, like it's such a thin layer of margin of error. It's so thin. And in order for me to get you there, I can't just like be a yes man. Just because everybody else is saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, no, Eliza, I see you like way better than you are right now. And that takes like, it's micro fixes now. We're in that with you. And the micro fixes that I mentioned in this picture, that's what I'm talking about. I don't want to, because people told me about this photo. They were like, oh my God, Liza, holy shit. And then I see this picture and I'm like, it's still not where Liza's going to be. It's not where Liza's going to be. Like, you think she's crazy now? Like, wait till 3 years from now. Like, she's going to be shooting for Italian Vogue. Like, then we'll look back at this picture and you'll be like, Carty, yeah, you're right. Like, no, it's not in my book, you know, because of where we're going, Liza. Trust me. And our last photo of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, our last photo of the week goes to Nick Johnson. Nick, congratulations, Nick. Very, 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 very well done. Brings me joy. Brings me joy, Nick. It's just a yes. It's just a yes. Now, photos of the week. You understand how many it was so close, but no, it so close, but still that closeness. Prove it to me that what I'm saying is registering on your next photos, on your next submissions. Now, there was, I'm going to say, the one photo that really encompassed, there's two photos. There's two photos that absolutely encompass every single thing from my brief, every single thing in every single way. Now, the hard thing is this first picture, there's something there, it needs a fix. So I'm frustrated that I'm giving you this much accolades, but this is unequivocally, I believe, could be an ad for Nike. Unequivocally could be an ad for Nike, and those are the only ones that I'm giving best in show. Ladies and gentlemen, Anna Kaya. Congratulations, Anna. Like, the right product, from the sports bra to the tights to the shoes to the fake polar bear skin rug for her to lie on. Her hair is done right. She's wearing the right things on her hands, the horizon line, the sky, everything except for exposure, Anna. And I need you to pull this back 20% and do me a favor, or 10%, submit that photo, because I need to recalibrate. I need to recalibrate your normal. And I know that that sounds like such a fucked up statement, but normal is normal exposure. I need to recalibrate your normal. You see this. This is a normal exposure, but it's also like, because it looks better, this is, trust me, this is like 10% too bright, my skin tone. Watch this. This is exactly what my skin tone should look like. This is exactly normal, but it's too dark, right? You see my skin tone? You see how this is too dark? Watch this. See that now? You understand how slight this is? Do you understand how slight these adjustments are? But you see this? Could you watch me if my exposure was this for the whole show? Look at this. Could you watch if this was the exposure? Or is this better? This is like 10% too high. 10%, but normal feels too dark, if that makes any sense. This, 10% too high, normal feels too dark. With yours, you're 30% too high. And I'm trying to bring you back so you're just 10% brighter. Like literally, I'm still trying to bring you like plus the normal, but it's too low. Okay, so that is your first best in show. That's Anna Kaya. Congratulations, Anna. Congratulations. Do you agree with me? You? And you? Do you two agree? I think so, right? I think so. Thanks for being here, you two old fucks. Appreciate you. All right, let's see our next and what I'm going to call our final best in show. There's only two. And again, fuck. Yeah, only two. The consistency from these two shooters is, again, best in show, Nick Johnson. Nick, congratulations, buddy. Absolute. Just smoking. Really, really great. Great. Those are your photos of the week and your best in show. Congratulations for everybody who submitted. You understand it's hard to even submit, eh? It's hard to submit because it takes balls. It takes balls to put your work out and hear not, oh my God, you're such an amazing photographer. Like, you're so good. Oh my, like, seriously, like how much stroking do you need? Would you not rather someone say, hey, you know what? You are great, but this is how you could be better. For me, that's all you need to know is how can I be better? So this week's assignment is a big one, and it is called strategic imperfection. This is week 4 of assignments for 2025. Week 4, strategic imperfection. And strategic imperfection, I want you to think of this. I want you to create an image that highlights how perfection is an illusion. Okay? I want you to think. I want you to make an image that highlights how perfection is an illusion. You thought the Nike assignment was hard? I want you to strive for authenticity. I want you to strive for oddity, humor, imperfection in a strategic way for consumers to take notice. You can't be in your photo, by the way. If you're thinking, I'm going to be in this photo, no. If you're in the photo, I'm not looking at it. How's that? I'm making you literally try harder. I'm fucking tired of looking at self-portraits of you guys when it's not a self-portrait assignment. Because as if you think your whole portfolio is going to be all you, or all of the one subject that you shoot over and over and over and over again. So, I'll say it again. Let us not be you in the photo, okay? And I want you to create an image that highlights how perfection is an illusion. We talked about perfectionism. We talked about that last podcast. I want you to strive for authenticity, oddity, humor, or imperfection in a strategic way, in a way that consumers would take notice. Double page spreads are acceptable. Double page, 2 pages in a magazine, or vertical layouts are acceptable. Magazine cover or single page in a magazine. If you shoot people, I want you to highlight a person making an obvious error while performing a task, or anything that you can think of that works for strategic imperfection. I want you to document someone who would be expected to be looking perfect, but maybe they're humorous or authentic. Like maybe it's a girl. Like I want you to show me imperfection. Show me perfect imperfection. And like, do I have to tell you exactly what to shoot? Just be creative. You're a fucking photographer. People photographers do that. If you shoot places, I want you to capture an immaculate space, but maybe there's one element out of alignment. Show a perfectly symmetrical architecture shot with one intentionally misaligned element. Like, show me something. Be creative. If you shoot things, show me a lineup of identical objects with one of them flawed, one of them broken, one of them smashed. Show a perfect setup disrupted by a chaotic element. Do something strategic and imperfect and do it perfectly. That is what I'm asking. I do an after party, by the way, for those people who want to hang out with me and my grumpy ass self here. If you don't like hanging out with me and ask me questions, the after parties are super dope. And today we are talking literally about, we're talking about strategic imperfection. And we're talking about how, like, you don't have to be perfect to be in the industry, but you definitely need to be trying to be. You know, like hit it from a satire. Like you have to have an angle. You have to have, you got to be making a statement. You got to be doing something with your work that goes beyond just kind of half-assing it. Like seriously, it is so hard to grab people's attention. We're at war. It's a war for attention. And how you make a living as a photographer is you become literally an assassin at capturing people's attention. And it's because you're so detail oriented that people can look at your photographs and just stare at them for fun. And they're like, I can't, but look at the lines. Look at the light. Like, this photo is insane. Like, the kind of detail, because you care that much. It's just, you understand, like, most artists are crazy people. Van Gogh cut his ear off. Think of Picasso. Think of, like, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Think of, like, artists. Like, you gotta be a little bit more out there. You gotta try a little bit harder, and you gotta be a little bit more of an insane perfectionist, because if you're not, I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna call you out on your sloppiness, because every art director, every photo editor, they're gonna do the same thing. If you guys wanna hang out with me, I'll be in Zoom. If you want access to the Zoom link, you gotta be inside the membership community. Just join the membership community. It's $10 a month for now, but it's not going to be $10 a month for long. We're changing. The mentorship community is going to become the portfolio lab. You're going to get photo reviews included with joining my portfolio lab. We might have a bit of a application process or something like that, but we are changing that next week. So if you do want access to me, it's only going to be $10. Probably this will probably be the last time it'll be $10. So here's your chance to hang out with me. I'll be in Zoom, and I will start in Zoom at 2:45, which is 20 minutes from now, which will give me time to make a tea, have a chill, stop talking for a minute before I'm bombarded by your questions. Today, we're talking about the perfect brief. We're going to talk about these Nike assignments and how hard that was for you, and some ways that you could have like did it differently, or some ideas that you might want to try that you could submit to my portfolio assignments on Tuesday. And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about strategic imperfection and how you can kind of get yourself and your mindset ready. Like, I'll just do that with you, because if you don't have someone who you're bouncing ideas off that are telling you that idea that you think is like so dope, like when you actually execute it, you see how weak it actually was, because you didn't go in hard enough. You didn't find reference photos. Like, you didn't have the right elements. Like, so many of you didn't do any research, and then you made a photo, and while you were in the photo, you were trying to figure out what you were doing. Yes or yes, right? Other people knew exactly what they were doing, and they shot that exactly, and then it hit like that. because they weren't trying to figure out what the idea was while they were shooting it. And then other ones of you just took this not even serious at all. So guys, that was photo reviews. Love you.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
After party happens Thursdays. I might even start another one because you guys love these after parties so much. But again, make sure you're in the community. Go to thecartymethod.com/community to join right now. That link might not exist next week.